As a disclaimer, Monster Fuckers Anonymous is indeed about wanting to love and have sex with monsters, but we want to make things extremely clear from the get-go. The monsters we will be selecting will be sentient and able to consent. Not all of the chosen monsters will be sapient, but we will not be endorsing zoophilia or bestiality. Anthropologically, monsters all around the world and media representations of them have had many racial and sociological implications. We will be as transparent and ethical as possible, while also sex positive and mostly having fun.
Monsters. Creatures feared all around the world in folklore and myths. Terrifying beings such as the fiendish and frightening fae, demonic devils, sultry sirens, hazardous harpies, and countless chaotic creatures coming from crevices of every continent. As long as stories have existed, there's been one pressing question that has remained unanswered by scholars for generations. One powerful thought that has plagued our minds for millennia. Can we fuck these monsters? That is what we're here to find out today. Welcome to Monster Fuckers Anonymous. Episode of Monster Fuckers Anonymous, or MFA for short, a podcast where every episode we're going to be talking about monsters and answering that age-old question of should we be having sex with them. I am your curious color commentator Cleric, and here with me, as always, is the wonderful and talented Joe.
I'm talented this time, huh?
Yeah, I did say talentless in like the first three attempts of doing this intro, and it is honestly, I kind of want to keep that one in, but I know we can't.
Anyway, we're gonna be talking. So our show concept is fairly simple. Every episode, we will talk about a certain type of monster, as far as its looks, lore, attitude, media representations, and everything just in general. Then we'll be ranking it to see if we should actually be pursuing this monster and if we care or not. How we rank them will be the very empirically sound scale, the Papo scale.
Patent pending. Our patent pending super scale that's super scientifically sound. Papo stands for possibility, attractiveness, audacity, parental acceptance, and then overall attraction. Each one within a score of 1 to 10, and then averaged out between me and Joe. So we'll do doing all the math off screen. We'll be talking about our scores out loud, and then we'll just give you a number, and that'll be put on into a general ranking that we'll have throughout the season or throughout all the episodes that we have. So you know where each monster stands for us and in general.
So today we will be talking about two D&D fiends, or I guess devils technically, and then two D&D demons.
Yes, which I think off the bat, how do you feel about demons and fiends? And demons and devils in general?
Great. Love them, no matter what. Even if it's the disgusting slug prince. Feel great about it. Love them.
I will say they're kind of a mid for me. I'm not a super fan of just like the horns and just like everything like that kind of like grunge, like super horn and just like metal vibe that they give off. But
okay, so you never had an emo phase?
I did not. Actually, that is canon. I have not had an emo phase at all. I was a good Christian boy and then became bisexual.
So then you are no longer a good Christian boy because of the bisexual part.
Oh, I think Jesus would love me still, but you know, you never know. The church wouldn't.
I currently have beside me a book about demonology, cartomancy. It's not even like a deck of tarot cards. It's like a deck of books that have demons that exist in Catholicism and in general, and you make your own interpretations based on the specific divinations that they have. So I am very well equipped for this conversation, I would say.
And as someone who grew up in the church and was told to fear demons, all I bring is my innate interest to be around demons.
I also grew up very Christian. However, that drew me closer to demons. So I would say Christianity had the opposite effect that it should have had on me.
They gave you a slogan like "Stay away from demons," and Joe was like, "Oh, stay away."
Like, do you remember those statues of Lucifer that they put in like a Catholic private academy or church or something, and then they had to take it away or they had to redo it because it was too sexy the first time?
I'm sorry, what? That does feel real.
Audience, you can look it up later. Right now, I think we are going to be deciding if we're going to be talking about either devils or demons first.
Joe, as our technical analyst, I think you get first choice on which one you want to talk about, and I will follow suit.
Okay, so hellish mommies or abyssal daddies?
That's honest. You know what? I think we gotta work up to Abyssal Daddies because I know which one you've chosen, and
I know
have
which one
opinions.
you've chosen.
All right.
So somebody likes twinks. Anyway,
All right.
So I can lead in with mine. I'll be talking about the wonderful Aaron Yees of the Infernal Legacy. The most beautiful and striking of all lesser and greater evils, the Aaron Yees are fierce and disciplined warriors. Sweeping down from the skies, they bring swift death to creatures that have wronged their masters or defied the edicts of Asmodeus. The Aaron Yees appear as male or female humans, with statuesque builds and large feathery wings. Most wear stylized armor and horned helms, and carry exquisite swords and bows. A few also use ropes of entanglement to ensnare powerful foes. Legends tell that the first Aaron Yees were angels that fell from the upper planes because of temptation or misdeed. Aaron Yees are always willing to take advantage of being mistaken for celestials in their missions of conquest and corruption.
So first off, right off the bat, just right off, I think we're all thinking it. We just gotta say it. That's the Dom mommy right there. Just straight up.
The picture of her on the D&D Beyond that I'm looking at right now is armor-clad, black and red, fallen angel with literally a rope of entanglement.
And that is hot. I mean, imagine her just walking up to you, wrapping that rope around you, and just being like, "You're mine now." That is hot. 100%. Like, that is just like, that is, like, you know?
Yeah, I mean, something that can probably be assumed at this point is that I feel like I mostly want to be her. Like, she is like gearhead sadist, like rope entangler hunter, kind of like just someone that is fantastic at all of those kinks, fetishes, whatever. And I feel like honestly it doesn't even have to be a partner situation, I think, or even like a sex situation. This is just someone that is like probably the most stable figure in your life.
I would have to disagree.
And listen, the reason that I say so is because stable, not emotionally, but like this person knows exactly every single thing down to the T. Like everything about her life, she like has a strong understanding. She has resolve, she has revenge and vendetta. She's a fallen angel potentially. I love a zealot, and that's just everything. That's gonna be all of these episodes. Is I love someone that has very strong opinions,
which I do value, and I think that is gonna bring it into both the bedroom and the personal life, because she knows what she wants, and she's gonna tell you what she wants. response.
And you know that we're both bottoms, so
100%. So I am, she's going to peg the shit out of me, and I'm fine with that. That is what I desire. If I was like, hey, I'm not really feeling up to it tonight, she's going to be like, wow, you're a whore bitch. And I'm going to be like, all right, I have work in the morning. We could do a quickie. And her quickie is like
this is
7
her
hours.
work.
Yeah.
This is absolutely her work. I will say, I think there's something about, like, I think there is something to say about the difference between if we're treating her as like a dom that we're like paying for versus like a girlfriend or a partner or whatever. I think as like a dom, I think we would have to go out of our way to fulfill our part of the transaction to be able to even like talk to her.
Yeah.
So it's very funny to assume that she is going out of her way for you in this kind of thing. But as like a girlfriend, I feel like she would kill for you.
Yeah, if we were in a relationship, most likely she would fucking like murder somebody. She'd be like, "Listen, I heard this cashier was mad at you, and you like took a tone of voice, so I cut his head off and also cut the heads off his entire family." And you'd be like, "Babe, thanks."
Yeah, exactly.
Which isn't a problem, except for when you get run out of town for murder. But again, that level of devotion could also come bite you in the ass. Like, say you break up because, it's just not working out. You want to see other people. She could still be devoted to you and then devote to your downfall. You know? That's gonna come that's a dual-edged sword right there of a level of devotion.
It's possible.
But also, she is big titty goth dom GF, and that
Mm-hmm.
is, I think that outweighs it. You know how they say like the hot crazy scale, both 10 out of 10s. So willing to go for. Which, speaking of numbers, we should start going on for our first Popo scale, which is possibility, which is how likely it is that you can have sex with and/or romance this monster. Which I'm gonna say is probably a 6 out of 10 for me. It's within the realm of possibilities, but either way it's gonna be difficult because you're gonna have to really earn it with her, and she's still gonna
Mm-hmm.
treat you like shit the entire time you're trying to earn it for her.
I simply don't think so.
Mm.
I think possibility. I think definitely it won't be as easy because she's a flying fallen angel type, and I think I would really have to like. I'd have to probably like have a sacrifice ready to even talk to her like the first time.
Yeah.
Which will take a lot of that'll take a good amount of time because you don't want to be arrested while you're going about it.
And sacrifices are looked down upon in modern society.
Which is true, but I think with enough gusto and
With enough gumption.
endurance, I will be gauche enough to say 7 out of 10.
Okay. All right. I'll relent. I'll relent a bit. That, I mean, if you have to straight up sacrifice a goat every time you want to talk to her, that also seems like a problem.
It's definitely lower possibility, but I think I think I could work something out.
Right. So then, next on the Popo scale is the A, which is for attractiveness, is how hot these monsters are to us specifically.
10 out of 10.
9 out of 10. 100%.
Okay.
No, I mean, like, again, it's what
I'm just kidding.
don't. All right, no, it's like I said at the top of the show. While I do think she is hot, and I do think 100% hot punk goth girlfriend who's willing to just like beat the shit out of you is definitely up my alley. The other thing is, it's just like I feel like one day when we're sitting in bed together, she's gonna every night her pajamas are like have 3 layers of like shackles and like leather on top of it, and it's just gonna be difficult to just for that every outfit, you know? Like you're gonna be laying down in bed, you'd be like, "Hey, baby, you want to do something?" And then you have to like get past 7 layers of horns and like spikes in order to get anywhere.
That's a problem for you.
Okay. All right. Are you saying you got locksmithing talents in that?
I have time. I have nothing but time.
Nothing but time. All right. So I say 9, you say 10. We'll let it rock. So next on the scale is audacity, which is just how much hubris or how like daring it has to be in order to pursue them. And so I'm going to say that that's going to be a hard task to do. It's going to be
pretty audacious.
Yeah, you're really risking it to go up there. And so for people watching, just so you understand this scale, a lower score means it's like super difficult task, and a higher score means a easy streak. Which is why I'm saying for this monster, 3 out of 10.
I say the same. I think it's the same.
Yeah. It's gonna be a difficult task. She's not gonna look at you at all, and it's not like a hot disdain. I mean, it is a hot disdain, but it's not like one of those like I'm looking down on you because it's a thing. But it's like I'm literally looking down on you, and I'd rather spit in a shit than even look in your eyes.
Spit in a shit.
Spit in a shit. I said what I said.
Okay.
Yeah. And last, but certainly not least, and at least in the individual categories, is parental acceptance. Would my Christian immigrant parents be cool with me coming home with this monster? And the answer is immediately a no for this one.
Well, the thing with them, right, is that let me see. They're always willing to take advantage of being mistaken for celestials in their missions of conquest and corruption. So they can act the demure Christian girlfriend.
Here's the thing, though. That's a relationship built on lies. And so suddenly we have to keep up that appearance for the rest of our lives.
That's my whole relationship with my parents.
You know what? You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I will say... What?
What's one more lie?
Exactly. I will say, probably for me, it'll be an 8 out of 10. Still, I believe that it's possible to be fairly high, but it will be hard. I understand that.
I think my parents would absolutely have a fit if I brought anyone even remotely close to that. I think either way, my parents would just be like, no, thank you, be gone.
But at least it's a woman, right, parents?
Yeah, but my mother, even if it is a woman. Hold on, let's not.
Even. Does your mom want you to bring home a woman, or
My mom just wants me to go home.
Okay, yeah.
That's basically it.
So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking it's gonna be that's gonna be a 4 out of 10.
Okay.
Should be super happy, and if they can disguise themselves, that works out. But it's still, I think, it's just gonna be a tough road, because eventually there is gonna be a slip up in the act, and once that slip up happens, it's all downhill from there.
Possible.
Yeah. So our last one is the overall attractiveness with a score 1 out of 10, where we take my score and Joe's score, and then we get an average of those two to give you the overall attractiveness for this, which is the definitive one for the show.
Pause for math.
So for the overall score, wait, what is this monster's name again?
Aaron Yees.
So for the overall score for the Aaron Yees, adding up my score and Joe's scores gives us an average overall attractiveness of 6.25 out of 10, which is pretty decent. That's above a 5, so that's above the halfway point. That's pretty good.
So our individual scores for Cleric, the Aaron Yees, was an overall 5.5 out of 10, and for me, it was a 7 out of 10.
We can see who's the harsher judger here.
Yeah.
All right, what is our next monster on the list, Joe?
That would be your Merilith.
Hi, Castrel here, editor and producer of MFA, with a small editor's note. During this episode, we confused the Merilith with a devil. While we corrected that mistake during the recording, I wanted to let you know ahead of time to avoid any confusion going forward. You'll find the monster we've selected in its place is far more appropriate for this following segment, and so I'd like to introduce for you the Horn Devils.
Horn devils are lazy to the point of belligerence and reluctant to put themselves in harm's way. Moreover, they hate and fear any creature stronger than themselves. When they are sufficiently provoked or antagonized, the fury of these fiends can be terrifying. A male branch stands as tall as an ogre and is sheathed in scales as tough as iron. The flying infantry of the hellish legions, horned devils follow orders to the letter. Their huge wings and sweeping horns create an intimidating presence as they drop from the sky and strike with deadly forks and lashing tails.
So we're just talking about big hot monster at this point.
Himbos.
Himbos. But not even... This is the worst form of himbos. This is evil bow.
Evil bow.
Evil
Yeah.
bow. Which is a dumb, evil... Just big dumb jock. Which, you know, not the best. Not the worst. But still hot. Like...
Definitely. Definitely.
The wingspan, the
abs.
the ass. Oh, imagine the abs and the ass. Just imagine just like looking up in the sky and just seeing like a big fucking just juicy.
You can objectify this devil, like.
Oh, 100%. This devil was made to be objectified. What I don't appreciate is them being lazy and like just being like, they're gonna be lazy lovers.
You're not. I'm not.
No, they're just gonna be like, you're gonna get into that situation where like, all right, babe, let's do it, and they're just gonna be like, I only do missionary. Or like,
I don't think that they would be that boring. Like, I don't think they're. I don't know. I don't think their tastes would be boring. I think.
Just get you get on top. That's it.
I think they're pillow princesses.
Oh my god, they might be. Little pillow princess, big evil pillow princess. Oh my god!
Is this changing your framework actively?
No, I still think they suck. I'm not a big fan of these ones, to be honest.
This was your choice.
Listen. This wasn't my first choice, and we both know it. We know what the bloopers were. If the outtakes ever get released.
This does prove that the Abyss is underrated and is actually much sexier than Hell.
Yeah, 100%. Hell, it seems pretty basic, to be honest. The only one being the sexy flying Dom moms.
They're lawful evil.
It's not bad. Dumb. Lawful evil is basically most of what the world is today.
Yeah, exactly. They're capitalists, they're contractors, they're landlords.
Yeah, easy. So, so we're dealing with a landlord. You're fucking your landlord.
Oh, no. I feel like they couldn't even be bothered to be property managers. They're just pillow princesses that like to wrestle. And sometimes they just like to sleep.
Joe, could you explain the concept of pillow princesses just in case anybody is curious or wondering?
If you don't know what a pillow princess is, why are you listening? It's just a lazy bottom.
No.
Or I will put it in a more positive light that they're just more comfortable in that role, and normally they have partners that are willing to be more dominant with them.
That was such an immediate blowback that, you know what, you're right. If you don't know what a pillow princess is, why are you listening to this podcast? Get help. Go back to kindergarten. Weirdo.
It's a slang phrase that describes someone who prefers to receive sexual stimulation more than they do to give it.
Then yeah, Horn Devil's 100% a pillow princess.
Yeah, but honestly, that is making them more attractive to me though, because they're himbos. They're like jocks that are like unapologetically like pillow princesses.
Well, they're unapologetic about it, but they also seem like they're gonna be like dicks about it. It's like, yo, come on, do the work. Come on. Like, hey.
They could be brats.
Oh, they do. I could see brats. They're just big, dumb brats. Brat dolls.
In fact, I will be making probably a Horn Devil playable character after this.
Next campaign. It's just gonna be a horn devil. Joe will be playing a horn devil pillow
That's a
princess
himbo brat.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So, do we want to get into the Popo scale?
Let's get into the Popo scale. This is all that we basically have to say about them.
Yeah. So, possibility. What we thinking about possibility to even fit this monster's junk up in your business? I think that's a 4. The reason being, A, they're lazy, and B, they are known to be tall and have these giant wingspans.
That's
So
true.
the difficulty in bed with the wings and just how big they are compared to the human body does not, I don't think would compute.
They're tough as iron.
Which means that's an iron rod going straight up in your junk buck.
Okay.
That, or if they are the Pillow Princess and you're the one given, that butthole iron tight, clenched.
I don't think so.
Okay, what is your counter argument to that then?
My counter argument is that even though they're sheathed in scales, that doesn't necessarily mean that what's inside or past the scales is not also similar anatomy to, I guess, just assuming that horn devils are have anything anatomically similar to dragons or something along those lines.
Yeah, how many dicks does a devil have?
I mean, I probably as many as they want to have, right? Even though the Marilith was a demon and you're still an idiot.
Okay, all right.
They have 6 arms. So simply why... the thing with Marilith is that they probably aren't magically inclined. So the Horn Devil probably is also not very magically inclined. They have some magic resistance. Well, they have magic resistance, period. But I'm assuming it can be... Probably they can have as many as they want.
Which means, okay, so then what if they want to, just flood up your system? So that does I think that goes to, both attractiveness and maybe possibility that if they can control their body at will, they can, shrink down to a size that's more reasonable and manageable. Yet, again, it's the wings.
I do think that they would probably have to take, a potion or something to make it work. I think it would definitely be a magic that they have to go out of their way. I'm going to echo 4 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm feeling a 4. You know what? After we talked about it, I feel even less, attracted to this, to the possibility of it. I'm going to say a 3 out of 10. I'm going to lower it down for me.
Damn! That's so much. For me...
What?
Go ahead.
No, I'm just not I'm not fucking with this monster.
Honestly, it's an 8 out of 10.
For what? For attractiveness?
Yeah, for attractiveness.
Yo, alright, Joe.
I'm here to fuck up the average.
I'm here to ruin the average.
I'm here to ruin this show.
All of our scores will be disasters. But here's the thing. Okay, I get that it's I could see it being hot because it got the horns, so you can just latch it onto. It's really tall. It's buff. I'm with it. I get it. Get it. But the thing is, again, I think it's the wings that are bugging me. It's the scorpion tail, or the scorpion tail, the thorny tail that will also get in the way. That won't really be pleasurable. It'll mostly be painful. And then, well, if you're into pain, that's for more power to you.
Yeah.
But so there's some days where you're not going to be super into it. There's some days you're not going to want to be half pain.
Says you.
All right.
You.
Joe, we're going to be a little masochist up in this bitch, huh?
Absolutely.
Joe said, "Hey, yo, whip me daddy." But the thing is, it's just I'm not the biggest fan of just the look and the attitude. And I think the attitude's also weighing down on the look for me. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Just middle of the road. They're all right.
Okay. You went from a 3 to a 5?
No, I put, sorry, if for everyone who's confused.
3 was possibility.
Yeah, 3 is possibility, 5 is attractiveness for everyone who's confused, as well as Joe, who was... Yeah, that's it for me. And then there's the audacity.
Oh, they're an 8 out of 10 attractiveness because physically very hot. They're big, and I can work pretty well in my head with a brat pillow princess himbo. So that's it.
Okay. So then the next thing up is the audacity for it. So how audacious is it to get with this? Which I would say it's actually not that audacious because they're
It's not that
lazy
audacious.
and they're gonna be like, yeah, sure, whatever. I guess. I feel like they'll be just like super either into it or just like, I guess I'll go with the flow. It doesn't matter.
Your characterization of like one horned devil out of probably the many is so different from mine. It's so funny.
Okay, all right. Let me describe how I'm picturing my
Okay,
horn devil,
okay.
and we can just go through this. See, my horn devil is laying on a couch in a Van Helsing t-shirt, stuffing like his face full of Cheetos, and you look at him and you're like, "Hey, man, do you want to do it?" And he's like, oh, "Fine." But I get on top. And he's like, "Well, can we like do something different?" And he's like, "No, it's really all I'm in the mood for," and just like exclusively does that. And that's all he ever does. It's just like you come up to him, it's like, wow, your dick is great, but it's still just like one position that we've done for 6 months. That is the horn devil that I am imagining.
Okay.
And so what is the horn devil that you're imagining? I think that's how we should do these from now on. Is just like put how we imagine each of these, and we just see how different we view these monsters.
Honestly. So for me, I feel like I'm also lazy. As like, well, I not like it depends on what is happening, obviously, but I feel like in general, I like am very out of shape. It's funny because a horn devil is absolutely in shape. But for me, I imagine that if the horn devil is like if we're like gonna continue on with this pillow princess thing, I wanna, even though I'm like probably like definitely like 85% bottom, I feel like when I want to be a top, or like if we're just like kind of in a verse situation together, we can, I feel like that's a great opportunity for me to top more. And like probably just like a lot more experimentation as far as like side by side positions go, and like I feel like cuddling, it would be very easy. And like honestly I feel like a horned devil would like praise a lot and like body worship, which would be fun for me.
Okay, I see that. I won't kill the vibe. I mean, I don't think they would do body worship. I think they'd be like, I mean, yeah, you still look hot, babe. Like,
No,
yeah.
me to them.
Oh, okay, yeah, they'd probably get off on that easily.
I think they would really like it, and like
yeah.
I would definitely, I in that moment would super prioritize like how they're feeling, and then if they're like having a great time with that, then like that's all that I need, honestly.
Okay, all right, I see where you're going from. I see it. Do I accept it? No, but I see where it's coming from. When it comes to audacity, though, I'm gonna give it 2 out of 10. I don't think it's that difficult to get through. Or I'm sorry, not 2 out of 10. It's 8 out of 10. My bad. I don't think it's that difficult. Horn Devil seems real very easy to just like get into bed out of all the devils.
I will still say I think there would be a temper to like get through first, so I will probably say it's a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Like I won't discount that. Absolutely.
Valid. So now we go on to the last of the individual ones, which is parental acceptance.
This is a 1.
Yeah,
this is a hellfire.
This is a 1. You're getting burned at the stake for bringing this guy home easily.
Like he's not magically powerful enough to like transform into something different, you know, like.
Yeah. There's literally no way that you're bringing this guy home to see your parents at all. It's not happening. And then even if he wants, if with my Horn Devil, he's not even going to want to see your parents. He's going to put that off for as long as he can. Never define a relationship. You know? So with that, we're going to add up all our individual scores to get our overall attractiveness, both mine and Joe's, and then get our overall score. Alright, so for our overall attractiveness for Horned Devils, for me and Joe, that's going to be 4.63, putting them way behind Aaron-S. Probably our lowest ranked monster so far, like even with the test episode and this episode. It's just, Horned Devil's just not doing it. They're just not doing it the best.
They're definitely doing it for me, but certainly not the best.
Certainly not the best. Alright, I think it's time to get to the other side of the demonic coin. I'm going to demons, demons, we're much more famous, I think, in the D&D world. They have like the demon lords, which I think we're both going to be talking about. Plus, just I think they're a little bit cooler.
Agreed.
Yeah, so the first one we're talking about, I think, is one of the more famous demons. I think everyone in D&D and or just in general knows of this demon lord. I want to talk about him because I have very strong opinions about what I think this demon lord is, and that is the demon lord Gratz. So, Joe, can you give us a little bit of info on Gratz?
No.
All right, then. You don't need it. I didn't want to. No, we're gonna move on. We're just gonna talk about him just in the
shut up.
No efforts.
Here we go. Standing 9 feet tall, Gratz appears as a lithe, muscular humanoid. His skin shines like polished obsidian, and his eyes glitter with malevolent green light. He has yellowed fangs, pointed ears, and 6 slender fingers decorating each hand. He's sometimes described as having 6 small black horns half hidden amidst his thick black hair. These fiendish traits are apparent regardless of whatever form Gratz chooses to take. He is considered among the comeliest demon lords of the Abyss, and dresses in the most expensive and elegant finery on the entire plane.
So, I like to paint you a picture of my Gratz, of what I believe this demon lord is.
Here we go.
So, Gratz is hot. He's that seductive bachelor you see at the club. He's got a suit on. He looks at you from across the bar. And you're like, yo, he's in the VIP section. Why is he looking at me? And then, like, the waiter comes up, drops you off a drink, and is like, it's from that guy over there. And you're like, oh? And he gestures over and winks, and you go over. And you have this beautiful, seductive night. He brings you up to his penthouse. Because, obviously, man's got a penthouse. Brings you up there, does wonders to you. Shows you the world. Goes down like ain't nobody gone down before. It is phenomenal. You wake up the next morning, he gives you a little card that says, call me. And you're like, damn, he really does love me. 2 weeks later, you have chlamydia.
What the fuck?
I will say this to the end of the earth. Gratz is your hot ex-boyfriend who is a manipulative piece of shit. Gratz, and I will say this with my whole chest, is a Kyle. Chugs monster energy, punches a wall, and then says, babe, that's your fault, but I still love you. But his dick is so good, you stay with him for it.
And the Horned Devil wasn't good?
Okay, well, the Horned Devil had many negatives that came with it. Gratz is hot, got money,
has chlamydia?
He probably has chlamydia. He fucks. He probably doesn't use protection.
There are a lot of assumptions being made right now.
Yeah, and I can do that because this is our show. I can make any assumptions I fucking will please.
Okay, cool. There are a few other things that will definitely raise our scores in certain ways. Mm-hmm. The Dark Prince is a deeply sexual, erotic being.
That is true.
Is a dark figure who visits witches and sorcerers, granting them sexual favors as well as magical powers. As a result, his female consorts have populated the multiverse with a depraved host of half-fiend children.
Oh, that means he's a deadbeat dad, too. He's gonna knock you up and walk out.
He's a fragile father.
Listen, I will be the first to say I would let Gratz blow my back out. That's not what I'm saying.
That's a given.
That's a given.
Fine.
That is 100% what's happening. Where I think is just objectively we have to talk about is that he's going to be manipulative He's gonna gaslight the fuck out of you, and he's probably gonna leave you either with a kid or a venereal disease that comes from a different realm.
Oh my god. Everything besides the STDs being said, he was also an archdevil that served under Asmodeus before being a prince of the Abyss.
Oh, so he just like jumps sides.
Yeah, most certainly, because he's chaotic.
So
And there's another thing. He's known as the Six-Fingered Gentleman. So
you know he does things. You know
that's
he got tricks with
he
his
can give you all 12.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot. If Gratz visited me right now, made out with me, and then told
Right
me this,
now.
yeah, if Gratz just straight up pulled up my window and just said, "Hey, yo, I'm trying to fuck, but also I need you to sign up for this this payday loan," I'll do it. I'm not gonna be happy about it, but I'm gonna do it.
Another thing I have neglected to mention, and that Dare, one of our producers, has brought to our attention, is that Gratz has lair actions. And one of those lair actions is regional effects rather, is that the region containing Gratz's lair is warped by his magic. The madness of Gratz is if a creature goes mad in Gratz's lair or within the line of sight of the Demon Lord, they have to roll on the madness of Gratz's table to determine the nature of the madness, which is a character flaw that lasts until cured. So,
which can sometimes never be cured, and sometimes you're just like, as our dear producer Dare said, you're down bad forever.
So some of them are along the lines of, there is nothing in the world more important than me and my desires. My own pleasure is of paramount importance. Everything else, including social graces, is a triviality. And anything that can bring me happiness should be enjoyed immediately. There is no point to saving anything pleasurable for later. So this is a lust guy.
This is someone who's
a hedonist.
Yeah, an absolute hedonist, an absolute just like given to your lust kind of dog, which again, very manipulative. Because he's just like, give it to your desires, because that's what you want to do. But if you fuck up your life, it's not because I forced you, or not because you went crazy because I'm around. It's because you decided to fuck up.
And your best Kyle voice.
What's up? My name's Gratz, and I'm going to chug this monster and then tell you that you don't even know what the word gaslight means. What's up?
I am waiting for you to give this guy a 10 out of 10 attractiveness by the end of this. That says more about you than you think.
No, it does.
That you were characterizing him this way.
Okay, here's the thing. Just because just because I am describing him in a negative sense, which I do believe, because you can describe someone negatively in their personality and who they are, but still be attracted to them physically.
Dare said you want to be a victim.
Okay, all right, we're just going to read these messages out loud.
Anyway, for me, what is very, a very polyamory mind, in my opinion, is that something that I do very much know about Gratz is that he's surrounded by Lamia and Merilith and, all of these, really hot bitches. He has many, this is the guy that has impregnated many people across the world, and this is the guy that people have a bunch of kids with, and they have problems. They have daddy issues their whole lives because of this guy. But, before I go into that point, he also has this on and off again, enemies to lovers to enemies relationship with Tasha. Which, that being said, she is also very hot. So if there is, not even that, not even me self-inserting myself into their relationship, just the fact that,
which you are,
he would know anything. Okay, so in a self-insert relationship situation between me, Gratz, and Tasha, which would, absolutely be, there'd be a power dynamic between all of us. But in the, fleeting moments that we're together, I feel like it would very much be this push and pull of Tasha's, inherently good nature, and magic is for justice, or I don't remember specifically everything about Tasha. And then Gratz, magic is for pleasure, magic is for the uncovering of all truths and such. I would just be there to learn and experience like so many things at the same time, and it would be, I don't know, it would just be a very fascinating experience, as well as just very overwhelming in like a very pleasurable way, I think.
Here's what I'm thinking. First of all, could you add the awooga sound effect every time Jill was just talking occasionally, just like awooga, just right in the background? I'd really appreciate that. And second, is that what I think we're both characterizing Gratz in two different lights, which I think we've done with most of these monsters. But I'm seeing Gratz in the most negative light, which is his manipulation / his more hedonistic tendencies of being like.
I absolutely think he's manipulative and hedonistic. I just think that you're going about it in a way that you're characterizing him as like a male Gemini, and I'm characterizing him as a male Sagittarius.
I hate that I got what you were saying, and that was a valid example. I'm upset by that.
Because male Geminis, like the whole stereotype against them, not that like this is not all Geminis.
If you're a Gemini, cry about it.
Just very all over the place, obnoxious, many partners, many fixations, etc. Great at communicating, annoyingly so. Well, I guess gaslighting specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And with Sagittarius, I feel like a very common criticism or the negative feeling around them is that they're heartbreakers. Like they go from one thing to the next. They're hedonists. They're just people that don't care about emotions and just, again, go from one thing to the next. I think that Gratz is just what he is. Like this is a demon lord that escaped lawfulness to go into chaos and loves to be surrounded by wealth and pleasure, and that is greed of Full Metal Alchemist.
That is a great descriptor. I think that is a great descriptor of it.
And if you think that greed would be named Kyle, I will kill you.
No. He's more of a Jason. But we should go we should go first to possibility. So, because we've talked a lot about Gratz, we haven't really got into the Papo scale.
We have a lot of feelings. Yeah, okay.
So for possibility, I'm saying 9 to 10 out of 10. Because like, Gratz
9.5.
Yeah, I'll do a 9.5 because Gratz is A, humanoid, B, like, is willing to be with a human, which I think is also a factor, and C, definitely knows how to fuck. So it is all within the realm of possibility.
I think it's more of like an 8 out of 10, only because of the lair effect. I think that would be really annoying to have to get through first.
That is true, but he could also come to you.
He could, but I feel like also, if it is a matter of him approaching me, that's definitely possible. Me approaching him would definitely be a lot harder, because although I'm super into this guy's whole thing, I'm not like in person gravitated towards the sexiest person in a room. Like I'm gonna be in a public setting there just to vibe most of the time.
Okay. All right. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
So then let's go to attractiveness, which again, we said it as a joke, but I will say I think Gratz is 1000% hot. So I will be giving Gratz a 10 out of 10 for attractiveness.
It's super funny to me though. Because as just like going over the description again, he has yellow teeth.
Oh wait.
Which actually, that's like very judgmental of me, which is it's fine. But like, he is like,
He gives like again he gives off Kyle vibes where he's crusty but still sexy.
right, he's crusty.
He's crusty. You know what? I think I have to tone it down a bit. Get the water bottle, spritz me a bit. I will bring it down because I'm also going to bring in his overall personality and how he is. Would I still jump into bed with him? Yes, but I am also aware of the risks going through that and how shitty he's going to be in general. Not like a super shitty, but just a basic shitty. I'm going to give him 8.5 out of 10.
I'm gonna give him an 8 just because I feel like for me, Gratz is only really super hot when he's around a lot of women.
That's a lot to break down there, but we'll unpack that at a different time.
I don't know what we have to unpack. I think that being in like a harem, but mostly being involved in the other women more than him sounds great.
Yeah.
He's just the supplier.
You know what? Valid. Absolutely valid.
That's all he has to be to me. Audacity? I feel like there's a lot of audacity. The regional effects.
Yeah. The regional effects with just how he is and how many you will probably have to fight off a couple people. He'll be like, I can do it with everybody, but you still have to get through a screening process, and then the other people who could be jealous, plus the layer effects. It is pretty audacious. 4 out of 10 for me.
I'm gonna do 3 out of 10.
Yeah. And finally, parental approval. I'm giving it a 1 out of 10.
Hellfire out of Hellfire.
Hellfire out of Hellfire. You are not bringing Gratz to see your parents, and if you are, he's sleeping with your mom and your dad.
He's gonna fuck your dad.
He's gonna fuck your dad. And I don't want anyone else to fuck my dad except for my mom.
That's her right.
That is her.
That's her.
If they got divorced, then it's up to that. They can play the field then. But while they are married,
mom's business.
Yeah, I don't know what they do in their free time, but I personally would like to keep it 1-to-1. You know, if they want to spice it up, please don't tell me about it. And with that, we're gonna add up all of our scores to get our overall attractiveness for the Demon Lord himself. I got a 5.75.
And I got a 5 out of 10. So in as the general average for the both of us, Gratz has a 5.38 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Which puts him strictly in the middle of our 2 previous devils, which is interesting. I'm surprised Aaron-S is higher than Gratz, to be honest, but also we did talk shit about him for an extended period of time. He's a guy. He's fine. He fucks. Have you seen Lucifer on Netflix, which I know Joe hasn't? I think Gratz is Lucifer with just his devil face straight up, which, for everyone who watches that show, you can look it up.
Okay, so we'll be going into our last Demon King. We will be talking, I will specifically be talking about Baphomet.
I have opinions. I have so many opinions on this one, but I'm gonna let Joe.
Okay, anyway.
All right. I was about to segue to you, Doc.
Baphomet, the Horned King and the Prince of Beasts, is worshipped by those who want to break the confines of civility and unleash their bestial nature. Baphomet appears as a great black-furred minotaur, 20 feet tall with 6 iron horns. Although he is filled with bestial bloodlust, there lies within him a cruel and cunning intellect, devoted to subverting all of civilization. Sometimes, casting aside his deadly weapons, he charges his enemies and gores them with his horns, trampling them into the earth and rending them with his teeth like a beast.
So,
that is Baphomet. My wonderful, kind-hearted and...
Okay, I'm going to let you rock. I talked a lot for Gratz. I'm going to let you rock before I give my opinion. Because I have extensive ones. Because me and Joe have had some discussions about Minotaurs and things like that, which will be another episode, because that episode is going to be explosive, to say the least. But I want to give me your take. What do you want to say about Baphomet?
I think Baphomet is a narco-philosophist. I think Baphomet is someone that, like, is the guy that knows the difference between anarcho-syndicalism and anarcho-communism. Subverting civilization is literally, in my mind, means destroy the state.
Mm-hmm.
Which, you know, the state is also philosophically considered a state of mind, a construct, etc., because it is. So, really, me who has had an emo phase, and, you know, I've always loved the imagery of Baphomet in general, even like as a non D&D figure. It would just be full circle. You know what I mean? It would just like come back to like this admiration and like revelry in his symbolism. And for like everything in my little like anarchist community heart, to be, I don't know what I would be to him. I think just like in like a weird, like who would we be to either of these monsters?
Well, I would make the argument in the nicest way possible. For Gratz, we would be a pastime of a pastime. And for
Yes.
Baphomet, you'd be a literal fleshlight.
Oh my god, okay.
Baphomet is 20 feet tall. He's using you as a fleshlight. Easy as such.
I mean, okay.
Don't okay that. Don't be just okay that. That is just okay. Like, I'm cool with it. That's my dream. That's just, all right. Like, you draw. There has to be lines.
If Baphomet wanted me to like go past the regional effects of his lair just to have me for a night and then that's it, just like have the story and the experience burned into my brain forever, that is a blessing.
Okay, so I immediately saw several negatives as you've read that description.
If my body has to recover for like a week afterward, that's not a
week.
Fine.
That's the rest of your life. You are
okay.
Your guts rearrange in a way that your guts you're using an iron lung.
Listen, obviously everything like eventually comes back together and like you're fine.
No, that's not how the body works.
Well, we have different things going on, so I don't know about you. Obviously, like, yes, this is a 20-foot tall.
This is a 20-foot tall.
This is a 20-foot tall horned king and beast, prince of beasts.
Who I'll say this: he's a 20-foot tall king of the beast who took the BDSM quiz and got 100% on Predator. Don't aha me like that.
That's his whole thing.
Me on, like,
that is his whole thing.
Man said, "Hey yo, run around till I find you. Bark like a dog and let me."
I'm not even running around. Like, I don't even like Predator and Prey. I am just walking towards him. That's it.
Okay, well let's talk about that. Because again, he makes these wild labyrinths. You have to straight up find him in it. It's like he drops you in the middle of a city and says, "Here's your one clue," and it's like a riddle, and you have to walk through the entire maze of like Bushwick in order to get to him. Which then he's just sitting there, is like, "You've been hunted, babe." Like, come on.
Well, that is your characterization of him in this moment, so it's not what I have to believe.
It's not, but it's kind of it. There's the ideal version, and then who he actually is.
Okay, so to be fair to what you are saying, Cleric, the regional effect of the Prince of Beasts is the madness of Baphomet. So the lair effects, until cured, are along the lines of my anger consumes me. I can't be reasoned with when my rage has been stoked. I degenerate into beastly behavior, seeming more like a wild animal than a thinking being. Hate comes easily to me and explodes into rage, and lots of other things that are based on like the sin of wrath. There'd be a lot of dead bodies. There'd be in like the lair and like in the labyrinth, and you know, it'd be smelly, sweaty, like lots of like would not be good for conditions of human life.
No, there would not. It would not. So you're seeing. So you're. Let me ask this. You're saying that as a problem, correct? Not like that's just something I have to walk through.
I'm not saying it as a problem.
Oh my God, Joe. Joe.
Listen, you thinking that Gratz is worth it is like me thinking that Baphomet is worth it.
There's a line though. There's
What's the line?
The line.
Tell me what the line is.
Gratz is at least semi-humanoid that you could is within your height range, and has definitely fucked people.
I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in someone in my height range.
This
is magic. This is D&D.
Okay, yes.
Everything can happen in D&D, even though it shouldn't.
You know what? All right, I'll relent. If we're going by D&D rules, yes, you can 100% go to town to be used like a flashlight as that, and probably recover. He's 20 feet tall, Joe. He's 20.
Mm-hmm.
20 feet tall is the size of most building. Like, it's a good size of a building.
Mm-hmm.
You're fighting like a 1/3 King Kong.
The possibility is gonna be low. Like it's like a 4 out of 10. Absolutely.
It's a 2 at most.
Okay.
You sound so upset that I gave it a 2.
No, I'm not upset. I'm just challenging you actively because you're not going to change my mind. I know that it's basically impossible.
This is like the precursor to the Minotaur episode. I already know it.
Just wait.
Just wait. That episode's gonna be a disaster. I love it, but the lair effects and the labyrinth portion of it is going to make it so difficult to even get to him. Even if we're taking out we're taking out bodily possibility. We're saying sure, whatever. But the lair effect and the physical just getting to him is such an arduous journey that doesn't make it worth it.
To you.
Don't to you me. Don't to you me. Here's the thing, I've to-you'd you before too, so it's
I feel like I've to-you'd you the most. So I feel like we can just carry on to the attractiveness.
The attractiveness, yeah. Joe, how attractive do you find Baphomet?
Interestingly, I don't think it's a 10.
Okay.
I think I'm being reasonable, and I do understand that there are still a fair amount of things that would make it hard to, I don't know, be his friend or something.
Yeah.
But I will say that it's a 9 out of 10.
Because you set me up. Because you're it's not gonna be a 10. I was like, oh, okay, so Joe's gonna be Joe's gonna tone it down. Joe might go for maybe an 8 or a 7. 9. It's basically a 10.
It's not. It's literally a 9.
Yeah, for everyone who, because we're not having visuals, my glasses are all the way up and my hands are just holding my eyes right now.
I'm having a good time.
All right, I'm gonna let you know it's a 3 out of 10. Well, I do think the tallness and him being a beefy dude, I'm not gonna say no to. It's still just you're using me as a motherfucking flashlight, dog, and you're rearranged everything inside me, and then you're gonna try and hunt me? No, thanks. I'm not. Don't call me Bambi. You know.
That's kind of cute, though.
I mean, but the way he's probably gonna say is gonna be like, Bambi, I'm humming for you.
That's great.
That's what's doing it for you?
I chose this guy for a reason, yeah.
You want to just be like, I'm hunting you in the forest, Joe.
No, I'm walking towards him.
Well, see, no, he's not gonna like that. It's easy pickings. He wants to prey you. He wants the throw of the hunt.
We can work something out.
So yeah, if you do it's gonna be a weird foreplay thing where he's like, I'm gonna release you into this forest, and I'm gonna humble after you, little Bambi, kind of shit.
Okay.
I hate that you just said. All right, let's just go on to audacity, hubris. I would say you gotta be challenging. You're really audacious for this
It's
one.
a 1 out of 10.
It's a 1 out of 10.
It is very audacious.
You're challenging something. You're challenging something real close. Parental acceptance. That's another 1 out of 10. Your parents are not accepting that.
Okay, so hear me out.
Oh my god. All right, I'll hear you out. I'll hear you out. I'll hear you out. What do you gotta say?
2 out of 10.
Why? How? Don't clap your hand like that.
It's a 2 out of 10, mostly because I'm being indulgent. I understand.
Mhm.
It's a 1. He is literally what has been symbolized as the devil and Satan for like the beginning of time, right?
That is true. That's true.
In general, we have established this, just like us, between us as people, that I do not have to talk to my parents. My parents does not have to be involved in any facet of any of my relationships.
That is very true.
But I think they would be very interested if I just said something along the lines of like, oh, he's like a wrestler. He's like very community-based. He's very interested in politics. He loves animals.
Okay.
My parents don't like animals, actually.
Okay.
But it's a 2. It's not obviously it's not Christian marriage. It's not absolutely hellfire for me.
I understand. Here's how I relent it too. Not that, I mean, there's our own individual scores, it doesn't matter, but here's how I understand it too. If A, Bahamut polymorphed into like a smaller form. B, if you were going for the anarcho-capitalist kind of vibe where it's more destabilize the state than I want to hunt someone down, sure. And if he like didn't eat your parents,
if he eats my parents, 10 out of 10.
You know, it's actually not. I won't really have a problem with that either, honestly. I think this podcast is going to slowly glimpse into our parental lives. Slowly.
Everybody mind your own fucking business.
Yeah, mind your business. I don't want to get any tweets. I mean, like, I heard you say something on the podcast about your parents. I get it. No. Shut up. But yeah, I understand it too. If you want to give him a 2, fine. I won't judge you for it. I'm gonna still give him a 1. I'm gonna still say he's a 1 out of 10 for that. All right, for me, in overall attractiveness, I got a 1.75 out of 10. For Joe, it was an overall score of 4 out of 10, which brings our combined total to 2.88 out of 10 for Baphomet, the Horned Prince, which is our lowest score so far. Mm-hmm. Tragic.
Definitely.
Absolutely tragic. So if we're ranking our scores right now, or like putting them in order from greatest to least, we got Anarchist as number 1, Gratz is number 2, Horn Devils number 3, and coming in dead last is Baphomet.
So our overall scores for the Devils, for the Aragneux as well as the Horn Devil, is a 5.44 out of 10. And then for the Demons, Gratz, and Baphomet, our overall average is 4.13 out of 10. Yes. So even though we said that Devils weren't that interesting, they are still far more approachable in relationship material than Demons are, which makes sense. They're chaotic evil.
Yeah, Demons, you're not overall not gonna have a good time. Devils, a little bit more of a possibility. So if those 2 overall scores for Devils and Demons, as of currently, since it is our first episode, Devils are number 1 with Demons coming in second place for for fuckable monsters, which I think is a pretty good way to start.
And number 1 is a 5.44.
Yeah, so there's nowhere else to go but up, honestly.
Or down.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be something lower. What do you have a whole season to get through? There's definitely going to be highs and lows, and monsters that we both are just like, gross. We're going to have tops and bottoms all throughout the season. But this has been our first episode. Joe, what do you think about our little first episode so far?
I would love to do one of these with you in person,
Yes.
and we're just gonna fist fight.
It is gonna just be a fist fight where I'm just standing up yelling, and it's just you just looking at me like I did nothing wrong. It's literally that meme.
Knife cat.
Yes, exactly. But I really enjoyed this, and I hope everybody listening did as well. So if you have any feedback or questions, or even want to post your own rankings, please do let us know, because I think we greatly enjoyed talking about this and making this. So knowing that other people definitely enjoyed it would help us and give us a lot of like confidence and just make us feel good about it. You know.
And give us some requests and ideas and media representations of some monsters that might be interesting for us to fight over.
Yeah, even more. It doesn't have to be just strictly D&D. It can be anywhere, on any kind of culture, any kind of show, any kind of thing like that. Because while we're sticking with D&D at the moment, we're going to start branching out into different kinds of media and different kinds of stuff. Because there's a whole host of monsters out there begging the question, should we fuck them?
Yes.
The answer is always yes. So I think this is where we sign off for Monster Fuckers Anonymous. It's me, your color commentator, Cleric.
And it's me, Joe, the technical analyst.
And I hope you all have safe monster sex out there, you know?
Fuck a demon.
Fuck a demon. Summon a demon and straight up fuck it. Fuck it.
Have them eat your parents.
Have the demon and devil eat your parents and then fuck on their corpse.
Hail Satan. Bye.